Your body can't quite get it together to handle sugar. It's not a case that there is no insulin. There's plenty. But because of insulin resistance, cells are not as responsive as they should be. Aish. But, insulin is not the Lone Ranger most of the time. The focus is on insulin because insulin's biology is malfunctioning and he is a bit of a bully. But it turns out he gets help from quite a few sources. Join us for this episode of Better Body Chemistry TV as we meet insulin's little helper, abscisic acid, and find out how you can enlist the services of abscisic acid to improve your sugar control. Better Body Chemistry TV is brought to you by Dr. Sandy, a scientist turned gremlin buster, helping you battle sugar gremlins, heifer lumps, and other health horribles through better body chemistry. Remember, small things can make a big difference to your health. Here's the deal. When sugar levels begin to rise, this creates excitement in the beta cells of the pancreas, motivating them to crank out insulin and abscisic acid. So, as insulin zoots around the body, putting away the groceries, abscisic acid accompanies him. Sort of. They're not joined at the hip or anything. Both are doing the rounds. Insulin is looking for insulin doors or receptors to knock on and spark a little action. The action he wants is for the glucose gates to be installed so he can make the necessary sugar deliveries. The enzyme who actually does the work is a little guy known as AKT. Insulin is a boss, not a worker. Abscisic acid is not really a boss. He's a panicker. Abscisic acid is a very ancient chemical. He's been around for 600 million years, screaming to all who would listen that there is impending danger. He does it in plants, in sponges, and in humans. His role in humans is not big. In plants, he is a player. In fact, he's one of the chief hormones in plants. When a plant gets stressed by adverse environmental conditions such as heat, he jumps up and down to make sure that the plant closes its stomata. These are the little holes that control how much water escapes from the leaves. By closing the holes, the plant manages to maintain its turgor so that it doesn't fall over in the heat. Now, humans do not have stomata, so this is not what abscisic acid is doing in humans. In humans, he's looking for LANCLs. Now, high levels of glucose are interpreted as an environmental crisis. In blood vessels at least. But for fat cells, it's an opportunity to store some fat. As long as they know it's raining sugar. Now, this is what insulin's supposed to do. But when you're insulin resistant, it doesn't always happen. So, in response to the sugar, abscisic acid is running around looking for an entity with a frightful name, the lanthonine synthase C-like protein, abbreviated LANCL for short. Now, lots of cells have this protein, including fat cells. When abscisic acid starts jiggling on LANCL, it attracts the attention of AKT. Remember, this is the guy who actually cuts the cord and sends the glucose gates to the cell surface. Once they're there, the cell can accept the glucose delivery. AKT responds to abscisic acid's panicked screams, and this is most helpful, particularly when the fat cells are not responding to insulin. Abscisic acid saves the day. Of course, there's a catch. Unfortunately, the beta cells in the pancreas are the official source of abscisic acid when sugar levels rise. Bet you can figure out where we're going. When you've got sugar troubles, beta cells are not working optimally. In fact, this is the problem. They aren't able to produce enough insulin to deal with the sugar delivery, and they're also not producing enough abscisic acid to save the day. Aish. So, why did I tell you all of this? Well, the plan is that you use your own abscisic acid along with insulin to help get glucose gates up and the glucose moving into fat cells. But you don't have to use your own abscisic acid. You can use someone else's. Remember, it's a plant hormone, which means every plant has some. Granted, some have more than others, but if you're munching on something herbivorous, you're getting a dose of abscisic acid. Not much, but enough to make a difference. There's a growing body of scientific evidence showing low doses of abscisic acid improve insulin sensitivity without increasing insulin levels. This is precisely what you're looking for if you are insulin resistant. So if you're battling to keep your sugar levels in check because your beta cells are on the blink, steal some abscisic acid from an avocado, an orange, or a fig. Try to include plant-based foods in every meal. You know, plants are more than just antioxidants and fiber. Borrowing some plant abscisic acid will help you create better body chemistry and better health. Interested in discovering more ways to create better body chemistry or need a little help getting your body chemistry on track? Visit our website at www.betterbodychemistry.com. Browse our library or enroll in one of our courses or programs. The advice is simple to follow and based on real science, not hype. Know someone battling to control their sugar levels? Share this video with them so they know how to improve their sugar levels using plant hormones. And if this is your first time here, be sure to subscribe to our channel so you catch future episodes of Better Body Chemistry TV. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, small things can make a big difference to your health.